Happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen, Allincrypto here, and welcome back, guys, for what is going to be nothing short of another jam-packed daily cryptocurrency market update with yours truly. As always, we have a hell of a lot to get into, and if you are new to this channel and finding yourself on my videos for the first time today, don't forget to check out that subscribe button because we drop an update just like this one around 1 PM UK time every single day to help you guys stay up to date with the latest and greatest things happening in the crypto space, but also the broader markets, and that is exactly what we're going to be attempting to do in this video. We're going to be starting the video off with a little bit of kind of global news. We're going to be talking about Biden in regards to him now not deciding to run for a second term. I think that was quite obvious. The question then becomes, well, who is going to fill his boots? I don't think they're going to be that hard of boots to fill. And of course, people are talking about Harris. Why are we interested in this as cryptocurrency investors? Well, we've got Trump, who I think is basically, in my opinion, 98% going to win based on what obviously took place last week. They've kind of martyred him, if you will. And ultimately, he's came out as very pro-crypto. I think he's even speaking at a Bitcoin conference. Now, is the other side also going to be crypto? And I think they will be. I think they're going to have to come out and appease the cryptocurrency holders within the United States. A lot of people are single issue voters. We saw it in the UK with the recent election that we had. You know, everyone's got their own special interests, and they vote typically predominantly on one reason. I don't think crypto is the main reason people vote in the US, by the way. I just think for crypto people, it's going to be a big reason. And they are going to have to come out with a slightly crypto-friendly candidate. Also, you know, we're typically talking about rate cuts and things like this, even though Trump said and basically told Jerome Powell not to cut rates until he got in office. We're looking at a great time sort of macroeconomically, and the interesting thing, like I say, with crypto is who's going to fill Biden's shoes and are they crypto friendly or not. So we'll be looking at some takes on this in regards to Harris being the kind of predominant one, and anything she sort of said on crypto, which isn't a great deal. Then we'll be talking about Elon Musk. Then we'll be doing what we do every single Monday, and we'll be looking at CoinShares, ETP, exchange traded product or digital asset fund flows for last week. See what we can unveil with that, and there's some interesting things taking place. We are seeing the Bitcoin short product really start to lose steam and momentum. We'll be flying by some charts on the back end of that, and then, of course, looking at the week ahead, which we did do quite a bit of on yesterday's update. But let's dive into it. So Biden decided not to run. My fellow Democrats, I've decided not to accept nominations and to focus all my energy on my duties as president for the remainder of my term. Got a low energy guy. You can see Bernie Sanders weighing in here, saying Joe Biden served his country with honor and dignity. Elon Musk weighing in. The interesting thing is when it comes to cryptocurrencies, Harris, which is one of the likely sort of candidates, has never publicly shared her views on it. So she is currently vice president, but has never taken a stand on the widely discussed topic about digital currencies, tokenization, blockchain, and non-fungible tokens. Meanwhile, Trump is going ballistic with his pro-crypto views. He attended multiple Bitcoin conferences and pitched himself as the first crypto president, pledging to save the 50 million Americans who own cryptocurrencies from Elizabeth Warren and her goons. He even said he would ensure that all the remaining Bitcoin is made in the USA. So it's going to be very interesting. This, even though it's kind of not specific to crypto, the obviously Biden stepping down news, there is a crossover here, and we do need to watch who is likely waiting in the wings to sort of fill his boots. To move on, just to get the news out of the way, very interesting. Lots of people speculating on Twitter in regards to, or X as it's now known, Elon Musk's new profile picture with the laser eyes back in. I think people are slightly reading too much into it. Let's dive in now to what's probably more important now. We've got the main news over the past 24 hours out the way of. And of course, every single Monday, we like to go over to CoinShares and we like to read their reports. And their report tracks inflows and outflows going into digital asset products. So digital asset derivatives, stocks, these kind of things, not directly into crypto. The cryptocurrencies themselves via exchanges, but products that are around the cryptocurrency space. So typically what you're looking at here is a more kind of institutional investor, in my opinion. For example, in the UK, many people still don't know this, you can't actually buy BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF. As a retail investor, you need to be an accredited investor. But straight off the bat, it says further inflows of 1.3 billion dollars as positive sentiment continues. You can see this, of course, is the graph. And it says digital asset investment products saw further buying with inflows of $1.35 billion last week, bringing the last 3-week run of inflows to $3.2 billion. Bitcoin saw $1.27 billion of inflows last week, with short Bitcoin ETPs seeing further outflows of $1.9 million, bringing outflows since March to $44 million. So very interesting. Why do we watch these? Well, we're expecting this pullback to largely be over. We're sort of going to come out of this broadening channel, and we know that people that have been shorting Bitcoin are now exiting that, so they're kind of betting on the same thing, and they're perhaps of a more of a smarter investor ilk than perhaps the retail sentiment. So it's very interesting when you see sort of smarter, bigger money positioning. You kind of want to take note of that, and that's really all we're doing when we're looking at a chart, is trying to spot the footprints in the sand. So the outlook for Ethereum seems to have turned a corner, seeing a further $45 million of inflows last week, overtaking Solana for the altcoin with the most inflows year to date. Solana, we're going to come onto the Solana chart. It's institutionalized. It's favorited by them. We were the first people to say this. Really, it was in my opinion, most definite third altcoin to actually get an ETF. When you look at it against BTC, it looks fantastic. When you look at it against USD, it looks fantastic. We're likely going to see a bit of a run in the short future, maybe to that sort of $250 range. It looks great, but these are sort of what's taken place. Digital asset products saw further buying. Regionally, the picture was more mixed relatively to last week, with the US, Switzerland seeing significant inflows. Respectively, Brazil and Hong Kong saw minor outflows. Very interesting. Bitcoin saw $1.27 billion of inflows last week, with short-term Bitcoin seeing a further outflows of $1.9 million, bringing the total outflows for the short Bitcoin product to $44 million, representing a massive 56% of assets under management. So people are dumping those sort of short Bitcoin, or the short Bitcoin ETF, or futures, I should say. Highlighting enduring positive sentiments since April's halvening event. The outlook for Ethereum seems to have turned a corner, seeing a further $45 million of inflows last week, overtaking Solana for an altcoin with the most inflows year to date at 103. Solana saw inflows last week totaling 9.6 million, and now lags Ethereum with $71 million. So Ethereum only recently has just overtaken Solana in regards to products that have seen inflow. So institutions are almost betting more on Solana than they are. Certainly, if last week doesn't count, that would have been the case. Litecoin was the only other altcoin to see inflows with 1 million, with 2.2 million last week. Blockchain equities, in contrast to tokens, continue to suffer outflows, with $8.5 million last week, despite more ETFs outperforming world equity indexes. So a few things. First of all, on the Solana sentiment, now we've got price targets for Sol in that sort of $2,000 range. I think the institutions are what's going to get it there. Also, you're very likely, and you may actually have, you're going to sort of pop out of this, I believe, and likely perhaps see a run into the sort of $250 range. Alt season is coming. One of the things that makes us very bullish on the space as a whole is the Sol BTC chart, because Sol won't be going up if Bitcoin's going down. So with a few people to have done work on this, we're expecting a big move for Solana. Solana is going to be a great performer. The market generally is going to go in the direction that we want it to. This is the cryptocurrency market cap excluding Bitcoin, which we've got a target for $3.8 trillion. This is others, so everything outside the top 10. We've got a target for 2, so you can sort of denominate that the top 10 is going to be worth 1.8, and everything outside is going to be have a sort of market cap of 2 trillion. It's currently at 250 billion. When we look at our kind of ETPs, we're very bullish on them, and we've continued to sort of use the terminology, and we're going to run with it for as long as possible. When it walketh, talketh, and quacketh like a duck, it's a duck. Let's finish things off now on, obviously, the week ahead. So the main things to watch, of course, is USP MIs, and obviously Friday the big one is US PCE. Let's dive over to Forex Factory and see what kind of work they have on that. So let's go straight to Friday. Obviously, US PCE is coming in lower than expected. Is what they have things on. So that's going to be good. That's going to reinforce dollar weakness due to cuts. And if you guys want to take that kind of, if you want to take your sort of knowledge of the markets to the next level, do become a Patreon. First thing you got to do is watch last night's meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it from me. Quite a lackluster news sort of day, other than obviously what's going on the kind of global stage, and it is a stage. It's going to be interesting to see who now runs and what their kind of stance on cryptocurrencies is, because the opposition certainly has become very pro-crypto, and actually I think that's very bullish for the industry given my take, and it is only my opinion. I think he's going to win by a landslide. And yeah, just stick to the plan. Technically everything looks great. I actually, with the Patrons yesterday, we looked at UK housing. We're bullish on UK housing. We think house prices are going to do very, very well and start a big uptrend, which is in line with global liquidity, in line with where we think risks going generally, so on and so forth. On that note, ladies and gents, I'm going to love and leave you. Thanks a lot for watching. See you all in the next.